Hey everybody, so today we are going to go through a vocal cool down. Cooling down your voice is one of the most important things that you can do at the end of a really big practice. So whatever you've been singing, however you've been using your voice, you will have been using the muscles around your vocal mechanism to get your voice to produce those sounds. And that might not be where your voice normally lives. So if you've been singing very, very high, a set of muscles will have been used. If you've been singing very, very low, a different set of muscles will have been used. And the chances are that when you're speaking and just using your voice normally, you're not using those extremes of vocal range. So cooling down is like stretching after a workout. It's just putting things back in place, making sure that everything stays flexible and doesn't tense up after you've been singing and using your voice really intensively. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to loosen off your vocal cords and your breathing mechanism. So I want you to sigh in the breathiest, lightest kind of way that you can. It's like sinking into a hot bath or falling asleep or just enjoying lying on a beach somewhere. Just that really light, breathy sigh. Try it again. Let all the tension and stress out of your body as you do it. Try inhaling and lifting your shoulders up to your ears and then sighing and letting go of everything. So inhale. Good. So 3 or 4 of those sighs, and then we're going to do something called a yawn sigh, which is just exactly what it says on the tin. So it's like that breathy sigh you just did, but it has an edge of a yawn to it as well. So it kind of has that slightly bassy, slightly kind of warm frequency to it. And we go, oh. Just let everything really drop and relax. Do that again, breathe it in. Oh. And what we're doing is loosening off the vocal cords, lowering the larynx, getting everything kind of nice and relaxed and released into that. So 4 or 5 of those yawn sighs. You can try starting from higher in your range and bringing it downwards towards the bottom. Just really gliding through your range. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is trying a little bit of creak. So creak is also known as vocal fry, and it's just that little crackling sound. So I want you to impersonate a door creaking open in like a haunted house film. And just let that kind of creaky, crackly sound happen. If you notice that it's really hard work and you're kind of straining for it, just take some breath away, let your body be really chill. Maybe take another sigh. Try not to work too hard at it. Just let your voice have a little crackle in there. It's a really releasing thing to do. You're shaking out the vocal muscles, called your vocalis muscles, which are inside of your vocal cords. It's just allowing them to shake out in the breeze. You might find that if you've done loads of really high energy vocalizing, so lots of belting, lots of powerful operatic sounds, lots of distortion or screaming, kind of metal and rock, you might find that when you go for that creak, for that vocal fry, you get a breathy version, a kind of a sound that doesn't have much sound behind it. And that often indicates that the vocal muscles are quite tense and have had a lot of work. Maybe there's a little bit of swelling in the vocal cords in the manner that you've been using them. So what I would say to do under those circumstances is keep trying very gently to bring the creak in. Allow it to start to happen rather than forcing it to happen. So don't push harder at something, start to try and take your foot off the gas until that breathiness gives way. Just allows the voice to kind of creak. So with our physical stretches, we're going to check in with the shoulders first of all, into the shoulder girdle, which are these muscles around the back of the body here. And just having a bit of a stretch in that kind of area, mobilizing the shoulders. Give your head a bit of a gentle movement from side to side. Always work within what feels comfortable for you. And if you want to find out more about stretching for your voice, there's a whole separate video on my YouTube channel about stretches for your vocal health. But for now we're just getting the head moving, maybe a little bit tilting the ears down to the shoulders. Only do what feels good. What we're doing here is re-loosening up something called the extrinsic laryngeal muscles. That just means the muscles on the outside of your voice. So sometimes they get quite tight from use, from the way that you're using your voice, so it's nice to give them a stretch. We're going to give the front of your throat a little bit of a stretch. So put one hand on your chest, the other hand on top of that hand, lift your chin up to the ceiling. Move the head to about 45 degrees, make sure your shoulders haven't lifted up. Go to the other side. Let go and relax. So that's a nice stretch to repeat a couple of times. And then lastly, we're going to stretch your tongue. So the tongue gets a lot of use when we're singing, and sometimes that can be a bit tight, and it can hold on to our larynx, our voice box, and stop it from being allowed to kind of settle back to where it wants to be. So what I want you to do is what I call mouse face and lion face. So mouse face is you're just going to squish your face up as much as you can, and then lion face, you're going to stretch your face and stick your tongue out as far as you can, so you get a really big stretch in your tongue. So go back to mouse, and then lion, and then mouse, and then lion. And maybe you feel a bit of a stretch in the back of the tongue as you do those extremes. Don't do anything that doesn't feel good, but again, 4 or 5 of those just to get things moving. And if you feel like you can speak comfortably, the chances are your voice is nice and reset, nice and cool. And now after the singing, just give yourself a little bit of a break as well. So you've used your voice quite intensively, you've given it a cool down. Give yourself a little 10-minute voice nap now. Try not to use your voice too much. Make sure you're well hydrated, make sure that you're looking after your general physical health. And all of these things put together will give you a really nice, comfortable 5 to 10 minute vocal cool down at the end of a really big vocal load when you've been singing a lot.